Last Friday, I was working a 10-hour shift, completely miserable, just dreading the whole day, ready to get home and go to sleep. I was just ready to finish everything. I just wanted to speed run the day. I wanted to get home, go to sleep, and just forget all about, everything that kind of just went on. I was rushing everything, getting to the point of just getting to my bed and finally saying to myself, it's finished. And this Friday, I went to the beach. I read my books, which is something that I really need to do more often. I got to make a couple different projects regarding my brand, Outcasted. And I got to go do a couple little shoots in the city, that was unexpected. I didn't really plan on that, but I would say I had a much more fulfilled day. Now, did I get a paycheck today? Absolutely not. Did I get money throughout this whole week? No. But would I say I am less miserable completely? I definitely feel much more fulfillment, in today's, activity, I guess, breakdown. Now, me getting home, I'm just thinking to myself as I'm driving, I'd rather just do the things that I have no idea what's going to just come after, if you know what I mean. Like, of course, I'm going to get results from the actions that I'm putting in, but I just don't need a safety net for a paycheck anymore. And I don't know what that really makes me in society, but honestly, I feel like it just makes more sense to me. I just had my mom earlier on the phone, and she called me a complete retard. Now, that kind of bothers me now that I think about it. But in hindsight, I kind of just laughed when she told me. And I think she really kind of clarifies me as that is because I'm just really off the spectrum in many different ways. She tells me that I overthink things and that I should just work a job. But I'm telling her that I just don't want to, because I feel like I have a means of doing other things that are necessary for my reason why I'm here, Now, it seems that being purposefully driven is like almost a new trend. So I don't know if she's trying to project that onto me. But, I believe that there is more to $13 an hour, seriously. And I don't know if that makes me, I guess, somewhat a rebel or whatever the case may be. I mean, I don't even want to work in an office for anybody. I just really want to make art. I want to eventually start painting, and that's something that is really out of my nature, and I just think that I have to go balls deep and get that far with myself. I feel as though that things are coming together as I just keep jumping out of my comfort zone, doing things that are interesting but are still out of my comfort zone. Not just putting myself through this rough suffering that is blatantly not going to get me no return on investment. Now, the return on investment is something that I don't completely materialize over, because that can drive you insane. Life shouldn't always be about exchange. I think it should be more about giving, to be honest, now that I think about it and that I'm humbled. It's came upon my thinking that I have to do more out for the world almost. I just feel like it's something that has crossed my mind more than enough times to just start doing. So, yeah, that is my take. I think everybody around me looks at me very differently, and sometimes it bothers me because it's hard to really make friends and, have a consistent social life when you're just really different from others. And, God forbid you're an introvert. That makes things so much more weirder as well. But this is just my nature, and I'm learning how to adapt to it. But thankfully, I'm not working a 10-hour shift today. Neither will I, any day this up and coming week. I plan on just doing things that I like to do and getting out my comfort zone as well. Of course, I don't want to always be comfortable, and I'm definitely wanting to make that. I definitely want to make that something that is, aware to the public, because I wouldn't be who I say I am if I'm just always doing things out of comfort. But there is a balance, you know, that you have to the suffering that you're going through. And a lot of the times I feel like there is no balance for me. It's just 100% suffering, 0% enjoyment. And I don't know how anybody's supposed to enjoy that, honestly. But I need to read more books. Oh my God, if this fucking GPS can't just be quiet. I need to read more books and tap into more things myself, you know. But for now, I'm watching the videos that I feel like are helping me out, that are inspiring me to post, you know. So yeah, eventually we're gonna grow these pages to much more bigger, you know, audiences, you know, as days go by and I get better and I stay consistent. I wish to see, you know, this paying off to be able to let me be able to travel the world and do the things that I like to do, and, you know, push people to do the things that they want to do that they always just left in the back of their heads. You know, it's good to just be free and be yourself and just be authentic and do the things that you feel like are calling to you. I told my mom, I'm like, I want to do what is calling to me. I don't want to keep neglecting that, because I don't know if it's going to leave, you know. I don't know if it's just going to disappear on me, and I would be damned if that happens, you know. I want to follow what I feel is right, you know. I want to stay morally correct in my world and righteously, you know, living in my world as well. So yeah, that's what I think.